Barbie comes to your house.
Welcome to the Aztec Domination Podcast. Here are your hosts, both of them, Aztecs for Life, David Perkins, and David's co-host, the official real estate partner of San Diego State Aztec, Jeffrey Goodall.
How's it going tonight, guys?
It's going great. Dave, how are you doing tonight?
I am great. How are you doing, John?
Is it Saturday yet?
That is a good question. But welcome to the 27th episode of the Aztec Domination Live podcast. Hope you all are having a great evening, and thanks to all of you who are joining us now. First off, we have some basketball news that the non-conference schedule came out today. I'm pretty sure you all have seen it. Shall we jump into it briefly, Jeff?
Absolutely. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I like it because I think we finally are playing the right number of games. Being under 30, going into postseason, sometimes we get a little rusty. Not rusty, but lethargic and tired. And I think playing less games is better. Obviously, the Mountain West is forcing us, as well as every other team in the conference, to play only one non-Division I opponent this year. So that's obviously the pain to everything that is happening. But with that being said, we're still excited. And I think there's a lot of good games in there. We got Gonzaga, we got Cal, we got Arizona State. Plus that Wooden Classic up in Anaheim over the holidays. I'm excited. It's going to be some good basketball early on.
I definitely agree. Which game are you guys looking forward to the most from non-conference play?
Gonzaga.
John?
Hands down.
John wants to go back to Tempe.
I'm going to hold off until Zion's playing again so I can cheer.
What, is he redshirting this year? Oh, yeah, huh? No,
Yeah,
he's under
yeah.
transfer rules, yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty funny. That's what's going on there. Remember, guys, this is a live show, so feel free to ask us questions on our Facebook page, and we will do our best to respond to you guys. I have turned my camera off so that I can monitor the Facebook page to be able to respond to you guys' questions. Our next segment is Calvin Munson in the NFL. So, John, take it away with our weekly Calvin Munson update.
Well, he didn't really do much, no tackles or nothing, but I got to say, the guy's a great teammate. He was the first person to every single player that made a tackle or something. He was the first to congratulate them and help them up. That shows teamwork right there. That could be big. That gives you respect, and then if he becomes the leader on the team, he already has the respect of everybody. It's kind of like what happened with Tim Tebow in a way, where everybody was already loving him and loved his leadership, so where he got to start, everybody just rallied around him. It could be the same thing if you get to start on defense.
Well, that's definitely a good thing, but I'm glad to see Calvin playing in the NFL, aren't you, John?
Yes, I just wish they would have won against those cowgirls.
John is the official president of the San Diego Calvin Munson fan club. For those of you who don't know.
It doesn't really exist, but maybe we can make it happen.
You know it. So basically, that's it for anything. I know that the ALS walk is coming up. As we get more information on that, we will give it to you guys. John, do you have anything else that you want to say, or Jeff, that's like sports related before we just get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, so to speak, which is football?
You know what? I do want to touch on basketball recruiting. There's a lot of people that are curious about what's going on right now. There's a lot of stuff being posted online. You see a lot of the coaches are out. I know that this last week, Marvin, the old assistant, I guess he was a student assistant, who is now with Cal State Northridge, was out on the road, and he was out there with none other than head coach Mark Menzies from UNLV. along with our very own Coach Brian Dutcher and Dave Velasquez. They were checking out some recruits. It sounds like there's an active period of recruiting going on right now that coaches go out and see players play. So I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing some good things. Obviously, we still have an extra scholarship for next year right now. We do have some early verbal commits, but it sounds like they still might be going after one more guy. And I'm hoping that we might get that second Mensa. It sounds like they still might be going after one more guy.
That's good. I love seeing our NFL guys play, and I love seeing the college basketball guys doing their thing. How do you think the basketball team is going to do this year? I know we've talked about it on past podcasts, but you're pretty stoked for a few of the guys.
I think this is, a lot of people have asked me, a lot of former players actually have been asking me how I think the team's going to be. They're working out with guys. This last week, I know that we had the Clippers on campus over at the Jam Center working out with before the men's and women's teams were practicing. This is really going to be. I feel for Coach Dutcher. This is his first season. There's a lot of pressure on him already, I think. Just because there's high expectations. You're coming in coaching after Steve Fisher, who's obviously a legend and a future college Hall of Fame basketball coach. I mean, he's probably one of the greatest of all time. Without ever coming to San Diego State, but you match what he did at San Diego State, or add in rather what he did at San Diego State, and then you have to follow that. Those are going to be some high expectations, some lofty goals, but I think that what Coach Dutcher and his staff have done is going to propel San Diego State to have a fabulous year this year. I'm telling people Sweet 16. I know that a lot of you are going to say he's on something good. We don't know what the hell he's watching. That might be the case. I've been watching a lot of high school video from guys that are coming in. Matt Mitchell in particular, 6'6", 225. With a frame like that and a body like that, and the fact that he finally just got cleared by the NCAA to play this season, I got to think he's going to take up some minutes on the court. You got guys coming back like Malik Pope, who obviously a lot of people have high expectations for. This is going to be his year to step up and really prove himself. It's his last year. It's do or die if he wants to go on and play at the next level. You also got guys like Trey Kell, who has lost weight but is been pretty consistent. Who's been working on his shot. He's dropped weight, so his knees are feeling better. You got Jeremy Hensley, who was hot and cold last year, and I think a lot of people are excited and waiting to see who I think is going to be the most explosive and dynamic player this year. Devin Watson, the transfer from USF.
I agree.
It's going to be a fun year. You just look at how much talent we have on this roster, and this is a team that could, preseason, you're not going to see the preseason accolades. You're not going to see the rankings very early on. I think Matt Mitchell is going to be preseason freshman of the year. I think Cameron Rooks is going to be newcomer of the year. There's a lot of good things that are already in existence. It's not like we're trying to come in with a new coach and a whole new system. You're taking an existing system that's been proven to work. You're keeping the defensive component, which has been the most fun and dynamic part of the game the last 17 years, or I guess 13 of the last 17 when Coach Hudson was here, 9 of the last 17 rather. And you add athletic bodies, you add length, you add, a lot of things that we've been missing from the last couple of seasons. You get a guy like Jalen McDaniels, who has a similar body type to Dwayne Polee. We got that 1-3-1 zone back. There's a lot of things you can do with long, lengthy individuals. And you got a guy like Cameron Rooks, who's a true rim rocker and a goal protector up there. At 7'2", 265, that's a monster. I don't know how many people have ever met me in person. I'm 6'4", probably 225, 230. That dude made me feel like I was 3 feet tall and a twig. I mean, he is giant, and it's awesome. It's just one of those things where, coming out of Mission Hills, coming back to San Diego, you hope he stays healthy, because if he does, we're gonna see a damn good Aztec basketball team that I think is going to go out there and probably beat up on everybody that gets in their path this year early on.
Wow, that would be exciting. But I just want to thank those that are tuning in so far on the Aztec Domination Live Facebook page. Thank you to everyone who likes and watches our show and continues getting us to do this. We had over 500 viewers last week, so we really appreciate you guys. If you like the show, make sure to share it, give us a like, write some comments. first off, I want to say hi to Joseph Lowe, our boy Joseph, who just moved to Kansas. So he's our furthest viewer away so far. He also brought up a thing that I missed in the little NFL segment is DeMonte KZ got his first career forced fumble in the NFL against the Bears. So that was also a really big moment for DeMonte KZ. Let's get rid of the basketball talk. I know that everyone loves it, but we're here to talk football, and I want to recap the Arizona State victory in our little road trip to Arizona, and then we can preview Stanford.
Before we talk Arizona State, we have made an offer to Madison High School's Keenan Kristen Jr., who got his first offer today. So we got Powerhouse Madison, which is a San Diego high school. That's local recruiting. Who's got his first offer from San Diego State right now. Okay, since you just brought that up, I'm going to jump in there. I am friends with his coach, and his coach says he's really talented. And this kid has the potential to be the best running back coming out of San Diego for that class when he's a senior. So that's a huge get, and he thinks that this guy's going to get a lot of Pac-12 and really big scholarship offers. So that's huge.
Nice.
Another thing before I forget, a lot of fans love SDSU club ice hockey. Over the years, fans have been asking about jerseys. Well, the club ice hockey team are now going to be creating their Aztec jersey. If you guys want them, let us know. We'll provide you the information and the contact info over at SDSU Club Hockey. But the jerseys are $100. They're hand stitched and they look super sick. So if you guys want that, let us know. But let's go into our recap of ASU. So, John, where do we want to start?
You want to start with the drive?
We can do that.
Like when we got broken down on the way there.
Yeah, we can talk about that. So
I think talk about the whole trip in order, and then when we get to the game, we talk the game.
Yeah, we can do that. Again, we are a live podcast right now, coming to you. I can see all 5-6 of you that are watching live right now. If you guys have any questions, please let us know. I see you, Darren. We're just about to get to you and get you your shout-out. So stay tuned and make sure you share it. So our crew was 4 people headed to Tempe. John Cagley, Scott Ritter, one of our fans, Darren Nova, the equipment manager for the San Diego State Marching Aztecs, who's a badass and he kills it, and David Ferker, yours truly, CEO and founder of San Diego Sports Domination. We decided to say, hey, screw it. Let's go to Tempe and root on the boys. And we began the drive. As many of you have seen, we created a video. The video is now over 2,000 hits. So thanks to everyone who's watching. It's also reached 4,000 people. Because of how many likes and comments and shares we're getting for the video, we will be making a video at Qualcomm this weekend of just all sorts of stuff we can get, driving into the queue, walking around, doing the Warrior Walk, doing band stuff, on the field stuff. So we're going to try and get as much video as we can. And yes, I keep forgetting it is not Qualcomm anymore. It's San Diego Stadium, which the piece of news...
Only for a short period of time.
Yes, the piece of news that came out today via one of the reporters from the San Diego Union Tribune is San Diego County Credit Union wants to buy the naming rights for $500,000 to make it the SDCCU San Diego Stadium. So we'll see if that happens. The vote with City Council will be coming up for that. But yeah, I picked everyone up. We hit out in and out because that's the way we like it, and that's the way we do it when we go on Aztec road trips. And then
Adam.
Yeah, and then we ended up meeting with Adam McLean and a few other Aztec fans. We had our own little section of the El Centro in and out, so I thought it was really funny. But yeah, we got back on the road. It started raining. We went through all the border patrol booths and everything. And we get to about an hour and 50 minutes outside of Tempe, and I automatically lose power steering in the car. I lose control of the car. The gas stops, and I'm sitting here like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And everyone's like, Parker, what's wrong? And I'm like, the car doesn't work, the car doesn't work. And then I was able to glide the car a mile from when it stopped into this, gas station marketplace area. And we basically figured out that the four of us sitting in there blasting the AC basically overheated the vehicle. So 20 minutes later, the car was able to start again, and all was good in the world. And we didn't have to get the car towed, and we didn't have to Uber to Tempe for the game and then fly back. So that was basically the one funny moment that happened the entire ride. We got there. It was a little bit of a cluster, trying to find places to park. And just how they had set that up where you had to have a permit to park. And then there's only two other places that you could park. One was an RV parking lot, which you could only park in if you had an RV. And then the other one was you have to pay $30 to park. And you got to park in like this business building. And then there was no tailgating. And I wasn't having it because I brought my Sculpin. Shout out to Ballast Point. Thanks for retweeting our tweet that I told you I was going to send out. And for pissing off the Tempe Tourism Bureau with the fact that we brought our own craft beer from San Diego and didn't even try theirs. Got a little bit of a Twitter shot from them for doing that. But it was fun. We got there about an hour before. I am skipping the Sasquatch Lounge, where we went and John just demolished the biggest hamburger I've ever seen in my life. It's like full-on hamburger, and then the buns were 2 grilled cheeses, and this thing was monster. It's absolutely hilarious. They had a very interesting lack of security at the gate, I would say. No pat-downs, no nothing. You just walked right in.
You just walk straight in. If you don't have a bag, you walk straight in.
Yeah, and I've never seen that before at any stadium that I've been to. Even at San Diego State, you have all the elite security that are sitting there staring you down when you walk in. But now they have like all these like sheriff, deputy, national state police dudes from Arizona just sitting there. And you got to go in, show them your ticket, they scan it, and you walk in. It was really weird. So it's something I haven't seen before. But we got there, and there was a ton of ASU people all wearing yellow. And it was really cool to see a fan base that actually shows up to the game in full and wears the color that they're supposed to, and that is being yellow. So, John, do you want to take it away with the game portion of our recap?
I thought you'd never ask, man. But before I do the recap, man, that fan base follows its traditions and everything. Even when their team sucks, they follow their traditions. And I think the Aztec fans should take a note on that. You guys got to follow Aztec traditions. So, like, when they get ready to do that is another Aztec first down, that whole stadium should be yelling first down. It shouldn't just be like 5 people yelling that stuff. You got to follow traditions and create a fun environment that you want people to buy season tickets. But anyway, into the game. We started out with sharing a couple of punts. The first Arizona State punt was an ugly line drive wobbler that worked out because it got down at the 1 yard line. Me and Dave looked at it, they were like, that is ugly, and then bounce, it stops at the 1. And 2 plays later, they're at the 5 yard line, looking like getting ready to punt, and Rashad Penny breaks off a 95-yard touchdown run to give us the early 7-0 lead, and he absolutely smoked them. The whole fan base around us was talking trash, like, can you get like a 1 yard run? And they'd be like, nowhere, you're going nowhere. And then he breaks off that run, that whole place is quiet. It was amazing. And then Arizona State ends up tying the game. They finally get a drive together after struggling. They tie it 7-7, which was the score at the end of the first quarter. But after they tied it, Rashad Penny, doing what he does best, returns the kickoff 99 yards to the house for his 6th career kickoff return for a touchdown. I think it's pretty amazing. 6 career kickoff returns for a touchdown. I think the record is 9.
7.
So that's held by
7.
a guy at Lamar.
7.
And I think that
7.
no, I think it's 9.
According to SDSU Athletics, it's 7.
Because if you look out, there's a guy that plays for Lamar that had 9, and then there's guys that play for like the real Division I, like high school that has 7. So it's one of those two for sure. And then SDSU starts taking over a little bit. They start getting field goals, defensive stops, but we always seem to mess ourselves up with penalties. Every time it looks like we're getting ready to stop them, it'll be like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 4, 2nd and 3. Bam, we get an offside penalty. They get a first down. We basically helped them move us down the field after Rashad Penny's kickoff return. And they were able to get a touchdown to make it 17-14, Aztecs winning. And then the funniest thing of the game, there's about 40 seconds left in the half. Aztecs call the final timeout. Arizona State's getting ready to punt. The Arizona State punter shakes a 12-yard punt.
He is the worst punter I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. And it gets better, though. It gets better.
The best part was I called it.
No, the best part was the fact that he got a 5-yard penalty for delay a game. And then he shanked off a 12-foot punt. So it's technically like a 7-foot punt.
Remember before the game, right before it happened, I was like, okay, call the timeout so this guy can shake the punt. And then after the 5-yard penalty, he shaked it. I was like, I told you.
It was pretty funny, though.
And then we got a couple of quick plays getting the field goal range, and the Aztecs went into halftime up 20-14. Second half, we got kind of, I'd say, slow for the Aztecs. Offense wasn't producing well. More penalties. We had holding calls. We had a part where we had a touchdown, and it got called back, and then we had another penalty, and then we got sacked, and then we got a completion for a field goal. I mean, it was just getting ugly. But Rashad Penny saved the day when we had 3rd, and I think it was 19. And Rashad Penny sitting on the opposite side of the field of where Chapman is, just sitting all by himself, catches the ball, runs, makes one guy miss, and scores a 33-yard touchdown to make the game 27-14. Arizona State looked like he was starting to threaten those too, because they threw a deep pass to Humphrey, and he dropped it. Right in his hands, dropped it. Oh, I remember Farraker didn't even pay attention. He looked at it, and he looked at me with the face all worried, like, and I was like, dude, he dropped it. Look, you see the ball on the floor, and you would have thought Farraker, like, had his life saved or something, man. It was the greatest face ever. Eventually, Aztecs would get another field goal to make it 30-14. Time winding down, Arizona State got a 3rd and long, like 3rd and 22. They got a touchdown. Our corners did not play good this game at all. They were getting beat a lot, but we got lucky with drops and overthrows. But that time, he hit it right on the mark, touchdown, but they missed the 2-point conversion. They could have scored 30-20. Aztecs would try to run out the clock. Couldn't do it, had to punt it. Arizona State had another chance to try to score and then get an onside kick, and San Diego State forced them to throw an overthrow incomplete pass out of bounds on 4th down to steal a 30-20 victory as the Aztecs stuck a fork in Arizona State. Or as Jeff Goodall said, they went to hell and came back victorious.
Correct.
That is a good recap, John. There's a...
I'm sure people got tired.
Yeah, because apparently everyone's not paying attention anymore. But I don't care. So, next thing we're going to go into is there are a few major talking points from this game. John already said one of them. Rashad Penny scored a ton of points. If you guys checked out the game recap that I wrote, he scored 18 of the 30 points. that San Diego State scored. The other 12 going to the kicker, John Barron. Really damn good kicker. Always makes us look good. But the other thing that we really need to look at is, number one, the receivers, and number two, penalties. So the first one, John, those receivers look lost out there. Or is it really that they look lost, or is it that Chapman threw some bad balls, or they just dropped them, or what do you think was going on with the wide receivers?
Well, we didn't really have the greatest play calling either, but it was mostly drops and it was pressure. I mean, Chapman had pressure in his face, so some of those throws weren't exactly on point, but the ones that were on point were getting dropped too. There was one where Mika Holder was running towards the sideline on an out route, and Chapman threw an absolute laser right where it had to be. It was right where the defender couldn't get it, and only where Holder could get it, and Holder dropped it. And it was on a third down, too, and we had to punt. But there was also times where we had Holder wide open, and you're looking at it going, oh, it's going to be a first down, and it's like 10 yards over his head. It was just really a consistent play. It's basically an all-around blame on this. I don't think anybody was lost, though. Everybody was where they were supposed to be. It was just overthrows and drops for the most part.
So if you break that down even more into the stats, Christian Chapman was 9 for 18. 5 of those 9 going to
Penny,
yeah. And then you got fullback Nick Bodwin with 2 catches. You got Cleo Waring with 1. And that means the Aztec wide receivers only combined for 2 receptions this entire game. That's not good. You're not going to beat Stanford if your wide receivers only have 2 catches the entire game. They also had issues, as I said. Then penalties. Penalties was huge. Me and John kept looking at each other trying to rip each other's heads off because we were so pissed off at the amount of penalties that were being collected. Hitting our heads into the ground. Just listen to these numbers. 12 penalties for 95 yards. And if we even break that down even more and talk about the penalties that were offset or declined, we get even more. We get about 15 penalties for 120 yards. That just can't happen. And breaking the penalties down even more, you had Antonio Rosales. Sorry to say, the one returning senior on the offensive line committed 2 holding penalties. That's a very rookie mistake. He's got to clean that up. And we also left, I would say, 12 points on the field, with Fred Trevelyan committing pass interference offense on a 53-yard touchdown reception. And then you had, I believe it was Rosales holding penalty on Washington's 9-yard touchdown run. So technically you left 13 points out there on the field. But thankfully, the Aztecs were able to answer and come away with field goals on those 2 possessions. But those 2 field goals should have been touchdowns. And
we got robbed on the offensive pass interference, Dave. Having sat there and watched that on the TV,
I agree. John doesn't.
He didn't touch the guy. The guy he wasn't within 3 feet of the guy when the guy fell. And if anything, the guy lost his balance. The ASU player was on the inside path, tried to turn, lost his balance, and fell, and no one ever touched him. That was a total ghost call and phantom flag. It was horrible.
I agree with that. John, I know you don't. What is your opinion?
I don't agree. Fred Trevelyan did a little push-off. Whether it was a flop or not is the question, but he did do a push-off, which is how he got open, because the guy was in front of him. Trevelyan
watch the game, but he didn't touch the guy.
To get separation.
Well, at least from the replays that they showed in the stadium in Tempe, it was pretty close. But apparently, from what was shown on the TV, there's a different story.
No,
Even Rocky agrees.
They played it a couple times. They showed multiple angles. There were 4 angles on the play, and on 2 of the 4 angles, there was so much space there that you could have easily fit 1 or 2 more guys between them. And there was no pushing off. There was no touching. The guy literally just fell on his own accord trying to readjust to try to make a play on that ball, and he got tripped up by himself.
Wow. That's definitely interesting.
Pac-12 officiating. That's what I'm worried about this weekend against Stanford.
Hey, but hopefully we get that home field advantage, though, bro.
True. Hopefully everybody, and we all wear black.
Yeah. So we're gonna get in that in a second. One of my final thoughts is, so taking it back a second, if we had those 2 touchdowns that got killed off by penalties, the Aztecs should have won by a final score of 38-20, and it potentially could have even been bigger. ASU going down probably would have crushed them more. So, John, do you have anything else that you want to say about Arizona State, especially about how we left Tempe?
Well, talking about the game, I absolutely hated how bad the corners were on man coverage. If you had one-on-one coverage with a guy, these guys were getting beat. We got bailed out by their own receivers and their own quarterbacks going out. I remember seeing Cameron Kelly get beat really deep, and it went straight through Humphrey's hands. There was another time when Humphrey burned Cameron Kelly, and it was overthrown. 3rd and 24, and somehow you get beat on man coverage in the end zone. I don't know how you do that. And you can't do it against Arizona State. I don't know how you're going to do it against Stanford.
That's true. That's a fair point.
I'm just thankful that Stanford doesn't have any 5-star wide receivers. Because ASU, those 2 wide receivers from ASU are both 5 stars, and those will be the toughest wide receivers we faced all year, hands down. And they burned us bad.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
but Stanford has a little bit better game planning than Arizona State, though, because they actually have a decent head coach, where Arizona State don't have crap.
Well, I would agree with you on that, for sure. I just hope that they stick to their ground and pound game like they're known to do, like we do. The pro-style offense.
So let's keep this on ASU still. We're getting close to wrapping it up, and then we can go Stanford all day long. So, John, anything else that you saw that caught your eye about that game?
Well, we talked about it already, but the offside penalties, I mean, you can play football your whole life, and you still jump offside. Like, you can't look at the ball. Like, after, I can understand one offside, so, you got a little excited, kind of got a little anxious, and you jumped it. Okay, cool. After that, everybody should be like, okay, we got to make sure we watch the ball right now. We're already getting looked at by coach for jumping offside. You got to look at this ball and read the ball, But they jumped offside so many times. Like, when are you going to learn?
So, how many times? Do you know? I counted.
5.
I want to say it was 5.
6. How do you jump offside 6 freaking times? Like, come on, guys. Learn some discipline. It's 30 freaking penalty yards.
Overly anxious to play, according to Coach Long.
Yep.
They were overly anxious and over-prepared and ready.
That's good. That's a good thing. I'll take that all day if we win. But doing that to Stanford's not going to be a good idea.
No.
Especially if you got a big-ass running back that's about to come in and just gain 4 yards to carry. And then when you have 3rd and 2 every single down, you're going to just give them a first down.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd be looking for some hard counts this weekend from Stanford for sure.
My final thought for ASU game, I thought it was pretty funny. They garnered national attention the day after losing due to all of their fans harassing their players. And the ASU football team had to tweet out, please direct all of your hate towards us and not at the student athletes.
Don't attack the players. If you have anger and hatred, attack this page instead. It was the official ASU football page.
Yeah, and they you had Palmer. Palmer came out and said something against it. They were like death threats. They were like, if you really love this school, you'll hang up your cleats and you'll never come back. That was for Michael Sleep Dalton, who just had the worst game ever. And for those wondering why he is so bad, it's because apparently he's an ambidextrous kicker, and he has an injury in his right leg and was kicking off of his left, which is why he is doing so bad. But he did awful. Special teams, that's always a huge part of football. And San Diego State gets an A from me on special teams. Special teams killed it. That's basically everything I got. So, John, how about you wrap up this segment?
Are you talking about the drive home?
Yep.
So we got the Black California love in front of all the Arizona State fans, showing them all the San Diego pride, and then blasting All We Do Is Win, blasting Buse's Uprising. We did that in front of all the Arizona State fans. And the drive home was long, really long. And watching Barricker almost like, yeah, I'm about to fall asleep. I'm getting tired. I got to make it home. And he just starts chugging energy drink.
Oh, boy, Dave.
You wish I was chugging energy drinks. It's called water, homeboy.
Gotta give a quick shout out here, Dave and John. We got Anthony Lococo, who's paying attention now. He just shot me a text. Anthony, thanks for listening. SDSU chair is also paying attention, and Alex, the head coach, is watching. Thanks, guys.
AKA Mrs. Goodall.
Future.
Hey,
Correct.
I'm tired. I forget. It'll work out in the end, anyways. So, shout out to everyone who's watching. Again, this is a live podcast. So, looks like Jeffrey had to go. So, Jeff think he's out for the night. If he wants to, he can call back in. This is a live show, so we can answer your questions in live time. If you guys have anything that you want us to answer, please send them our way in the comments section. We are now done with Arizona State, and it's time to break down the 19th ranked Stanford Cardinals game against your San Diego State Aztecs here at San Diego Stadium on Saturday night. So, a few things that I want to read first off from an email sent out by San Diego State Athletics is a few important things that you people should know. So let me get this open real quick. It should be a fun game, but there are a few different events that are going to be happening as a result. The first thing is blackout. Everyone knows. Wear black for this game. Do not wear red. Do not wear any other color. Do not be that jackass that wears green. Just wear black. That's the goal for this game. I'm opening the email right now as we speak, so I can continue talking about it. Bring all your friends. Bring all your family. I don't know what John is typing to Jeff because it flashes across my screen and I can't read it. So here we go. This is the promotions for the game against Stanford. Those who are attending the game are encouraged to wear all black in support of the blackout. Saturday's game is the team's first responder appreciation night. San Diego Police, Fire, EMT, and Sheriff's Department will have a representative being recognized on the field. And a joint San Diego PD and Fire Department helicopter flyover will be happening before the game. So make sure to stay for that. The crowd is anticipated to be huge. We'll go into that in a little bit. So make sure you guys, if you're driving in, you get in there and you park on time. Don't pull any of this late BS like people did for the fireworks show last week, and they had issues trying to get into the parking lot. The parking lot will open for tailgating 5 hours before kickoff at 2:30. The gates for the stadium will open at 5:30. The Warrior Walk starts at 5:15. Make sure you come and check that out. The pregame show with Judson Richards and J.R. Tolver on Extra Sports 1360 will be broadcasting live inside Gate G starting at 5:30. So if you want to check out their show, go check that out. The first 2,000 SDSU students through Gate J before the game will get San Diego State koozies. Thank you to Pepsi. This is also marks the annual military march on. We're going to have hundreds of San Diego State ROTC members from the Navy, Marines, Army, and Air Force units march onto the field to be recognized. That will all start at 7:15. And I don't know what else is going to happen because my iPad just died. So let's get into some Stanford talk, shall we, John?
Oh, it's a scary-looking team, man. That defense hits hard. They are a bunch of hard hitters, man. No matter how much speed you have, if you hit speed hard enough, it slows down due to exhaustion and pain. And that's my worry this week is most of our guys are speedy guys. You know, Shad Penny and Juwan Washington. Even if we use Macklin, these guys are all a bunch of fast guys. They're not power guys. So if they get hit hard a couple of times, they might start to slow down. That is my worry with that defense.
That would definitely not be a good thing to have happen. But they play hardball. Who else plays hardball, John? San Diego State plays hardball. So it should be a very interesting matchup. A good run defense in San Diego State. A horrible run defense in Stanford. So we should have a very interesting matchup. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the game. As stated, the crowd level is supposed to be big for this game. I have heard an estimate of 43 to 46,000 tickets already sold as of Wednesday, end of day. No clue if that's accurate or not. John, how many fans do you think we will have in the queue when it's all said and done at game time on Saturday night?
I want to say around 60,000. I think it really depends on how many students will actually show up. But my worry is the Canelo fight is also that night.
Did you say 5-0 or 6-0?
6-0.
Yeah. As John did say, there are a few events happening in the world of sports. One of them, the Canelo Triple G fight. One of them, John's Texas Longhorns are playing USC. So we might have a bunch of people that are wanting to watch that game instead. And we also have Kaboo for all of our party people. That is also happening the same night. But as you guys heard us say, about between 43 to 46,000 tickets have been sold. That doesn't mean 46,000 people are going to show up to Qualcomm. Okay? The tickets sold has nothing to do with the actual people that go through the ticket booth, that have their tickets scanned, that actually are in the arena. So it could very well be different. You know, we could get anywhere from 45 to 65, 70,000 maybe. John thinks we're going to get 60,000. My high level estimate is 65,000. It just depends, as John said, on students. And another thing that it really depends on is walk-ups. How many people decide to say, screw it. I don't want to go out. I want to go watch this game, and they just walk up randomly and buy tickets. In the past,
there's a lot of people that do that too. If you ever go to an Aztec game, go over to the ticket line about an hour before the game, and there's a long line of people trying to buy tickets almost every game. Even games that are like nobody, like UC Davis, there's always there.
So UC Davis had a walk-up line of 4,000. So that's the total amount of tickets sold as walk-ups for UC Davis, 4,000. Last year for Cal, they had a walk-up of 6,000 people. So potentially, I would say maybe 6,000 to 10,000 potential walk-ups for this Stanford game. So we'll see if those people show up and people who bought their tickets show up and how that all goes. But we really are expecting a monster-sized crowd for this game. So if you're planning on going, make sure you get there early. You definitely know me and John will be there very early, as we normally are. We'll be walking around, taking photos, taking videos, saying what's up to everyone, putting together a cool video for you all to watch. Again, I just want to say thanks for watching our Tempe road trip video. Those who have watched it, we have over 2,000 hits, so that was a pleasant surprise. Due to that, we're going to create more videos for home games, and if we go to any other road games this season, more road videos. So be sure to check that out. Again, this is a live podcast, live Facebook session. You all can comment on our page, and we will respond to you the best we can. Currently, my iPad is dead, so I can't really respond to anyone. But if you tag John Kegley or tag Aztec Domination Podcast, I'm pretty sure he can shoot us your question if you guys have it. So let's really now break down the Stanford game. Stanford is coming into this game at 1-1 after destroying Rice. I believe the score was 60-7. I could be wrong on Rice's score.
62-7.
Okay, 62-7 in Australia. But you may think, oh shit, Stanford murdered them. Well, look at Rice's stats. They ran for 137 yards on the ground against Stanford, which shows that Stanford can be beaten on the run game. Just about everything else failed on Rice.
I don't think that really means anything because with how many touchdowns Stanford scored, you got to remember after every one of those touchdowns, Rice had a possession. So you're looking at maybe...
well, if you really want to calculate it...
8 touchdowns and 2 field goals. So that means 10 possessions for Rice, so 13 rushing yards a possession.
If you really want to look at it, they ended with, I believe, 37 carries for 137 yards, averaging just about 4 yards a carry. 3.7 to 4, surrounding there. But that is promising. Everything else about Rice sucks, so we really don't need to talk about that game. We can go into the next game. USC.
2 out of the last 4 games were against Rice for Stanford, and the final scores were 41-17 and 62-7.
So John is trying to tell everyone that Stanford's getting better. I still don't buy it. They played USC. USC ran for over 300 yards against Stanford. Again, showing that Stanford can be beaten by the run. And,
But that's against USC with the number 1 ranked quarterback in the nation, so they have a passing threat to open up the run game. We don't have that.
Yes, I know. We don't have a good quarterback. Chapman's a great manager, great field general, but he is no USC quarterback. No, he's no. But
if I am sending everybody after the run, and I am telling you, you have to beat us passing the ball. If we lose this game, it better be because Chapman threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
But he is no Sam Darnold, that's for sure. But here's another point. I was listening to a few radio shows today. One of them with David Shaw, the head coach of Stanford, and their weakest position is, can you guess?
Quarterback?
Defensive line. They're very weak on the defensive line. Again, which is why I believe they can be run on. They're not deep. They're very deep at quarterback. Not so on the defensive line, according to Coach. So, I think it can be done, but I think we're going to have to change things up. As John said earlier on in this podcast, and Jeff also said while he was still with us, that Stanford, they knock heads. San Diego State, we knock heads. This is going to be a great battle like in the 70s, 80s, back when football was ground and pound on each other, back when it was real and non-spready like. And that's why I think the points are going to be down. But I would be willing to say that whichever team has 2 big breakout plays in the passing game is going to be the team that wins. Because I think it's going to be a battle of time possession. I really do. San Diego State's going to try and take 7 to 10 minute long drives, and Stanford's going to try and do the same thing. As long as Penny doesn't break a long one, or break a long one on kick or punt return, which I don't think will happen. Stanford's punter is one of the best punters in the country. And I don't think we're going to have any problems with Michael Sleep Dalton-like issues where he just doesn't pay attention and gets 2 penalties for delay game because he's not paying attention, and then has 2 shanks of 15 yards or less. I do not see that happening. So, special teams could be a big area in this game. Who wins? San Diego State special teams or Stanford special teams could very well decide who wins this game. If San Diego State's offensive unit can keep up with Stanford's offense.
The time of possession that you brought up is the key point in this game for sure, because Stanford probably is going to get its way with us to start the game, and that's going to wear out our defense. And if we can't get offensive drives together, our defense is going to be tired the whole game. But if you get a couple of drives together, some decently long 5-6 minute touchdown drives, you get your defense rested. They're on the sideline learning what they did wrong, talking with coaches, and they come back and they have a better idea of what's going on. They're refreshed, and they can step up and make a stop the next time. But if it's Stanford doing a 7-play, 80-yard drive for a touchdown, and then we come out and we get a 3-and-out because we ran the ball for 2 yards and did 2 complete passes, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, I would agree with that, John. I still think that San Diego State's run defense is going to be able to stop Stanford's running back. San Diego State has not given up many yards. For those of you that listen to my solo recap in the middle of the week last night, we did the calculations, and the opponents are averaging a little bit under 3 yards a carry. Been over 50 rushing attempts and about 107 to about 108 yards gained total on the Aztec run defense. I think the boys can shut down Stanford's run game, and I'll tell you a reason why.
Well, you're using stats of UC Davis in this argument.
Yeah, them and Arizona State.
Yeah, but you're using UC Davis stats, which brings down the average and all that stuff really bad.
They actually ran for more yards than Arizona State did.
On how many carries?
I don't know. I would say it was split. I'd say it's about 25, 26 per team. I don't know. But here's my argument to you, John, why San Diego State's D-line will stop Stanford's running back. San Diego State defense plays against the best running back in the country in Rashad Penny every day. And they are allowed to hit, and they go full speed. They know how good Penny is, and they've seen his moves. You know, I believe he's not either number 1 or 2 right now in the country in terms of total yards. I think he's second in rushing. Well, Stanford's running back is ranked 5th. He's the same size, same build as Penny, but about 20 to 30 pounds smaller. So I think our defensive unit has been used to having Penny push him around, which should definitely help them get ready for Stanford's running attack. The one thing that might have an issue, as you said, is the actual size of our D-line versus the size of their offensive line. That might create some issues. But I think our linebacker play, safety play, and corner play should be good enough to stop the run. I'm just worried about the Aztecs over-pursuing in the box, stacking the box, and then leaving a Stanford wide receiver wide open and having Kelly or Ron Smith get burned for a touchdown. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Your argument of the Aztecs practice against Rashad Penny, they also practice against our offensive line that gets holding penalties at false starts. So it doesn't really help. You're basically practicing against the smaller guys to get ready for the big guys. I think you could actually see what happened against Houston last year, where our offensive line was getting beat really bad because those guys were super fast, and then it took them like a quarter and a half to finally, figure out what's going on and do it. I think that could possibly happen this game as well.
Yeah, that's a definite possibility, but I think this game will be interesting. The boys are fired up. Team's ready to go. The real question is, where's the real Christian Chapman, and will he please stand up? Where's the real Aztec wide receivers, and will they please stand up? Because we haven't been able to find them this season. And a 9 for 18 performance this week against Stanford, you're not going to get the W.
He's 25 of 39 for 243. What is it? Yeah, 293. 25 of 39 for 293, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's Chapman's stat.
He's in the mid-60s for quarterback passer rating. Not bad, but he needs to throw it more. We need Macklin to break one. We need Wilson to break one. We need Holder to say, hey, baby brother, get the heck out of here and burn him. Like, he needs to burn his twin. Get a touchdown to him, get a touchdown to someone. We need Quest Truxton to get in there, get a touchdown. We need Waring. We need David Wells. We need all the tight ends to get in there and make some catches. We cannot have drop balls, I believe.
Here's an interesting thing. Chapman has 39 attempts on the season passing. Penny has 39 carries on the season running. And then that doesn't count Juwan Washington or any of our backup running backs that played against UC Davis. And then some of those passes from Chapman are too Penny.
Yeah.
We're basically relying on our starting running back to do everything. And if Stanford takes him out, like sends a blitz after him or double covers him, you got to have someone else make the play. And my question to you, Mr. Farraker, CEO of City with Sports Domination, who do you think should be the guy that steps up?
I always say the big name. I always say Macklin every freaking week. But he only got targeted freaking one time last game. So I'm
He only
not...
played 3 plays, too.
Yeah. I'm not bringing it up. I am going to go with a tight end. And I'm going to say Kalia Waring, who just got put on scholarship, who had a really good game against UC Davis. I think he's going to go off in this game. I think him or David Wells going to be the difference. We need
He's actually our leading receiver. Can you believe that?
Yeah, no, I can believe that because last year, Pumphrey was leading in rushing in, receiving. So,
I meant the tight end Waring is our leading receiver.
That's shocking. The fact that Penny is not the leading receiver.
83 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, so I definitely think we're going to get to see him more often and hope to see him getting thrown to in the red zone. That one interception, though, that Chapman threw was that bullshit Hail Mary at the end of the first half against UC Davis. So, technically, I don't count that as a pick because that was a practice play. That wasn't like a real legitimate interception.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was a Hail Mary. It was his last play of the game. You throw it up, either interception or touchdown. It's not going to hurt you. I think the interceptions that matter are the ones where you have like 7 minutes left in the quarter, and you're just driving down the field and you throw a pass and a double coverage and it's picked out. I think that's the one that hurts you because you're making stupid decisions on a daily basis.
Agreed. So we've talked a ton about matchups. We've talked a lot about San Diego State stuff. It's time to move into the next segment of the show, and that is our keys to victory. So, John, give me 5 bullet points. We're doing this game again. We're not doing 4 because both of us screwed that one up last time. 5.
I did 3. I did 3 like I was supposed to. You're the one that did 4. You're the one that can't count.
Well, now I can't even remember that, so we're doing 5 now. So we upped it.
AFL, Aztec for life.
Okay, funny guy. Aztec football legacy. See, I remember. I was just extremely tired that night and just brain farted all over the place. Okay, John, 5 bullet points. What will get an Aztec victory?
I don't know if it's going to be 5, so I'll try. But I think that first and foremost is going to be time of possession. You got to have time of possession. You got to control the clock, keep your defense fresh. Number 2, I would say penalties. We don't need that offside, false start, pass interference, bullshit. If you get one offside, that's it. That's your one freebie. After that, no more. You got your little, we're anxious, we're excited. Now it's time to play smart football. Number 3, I would have to say, is going to be turnovers.
Oh, no.
I think Stanford takes care of the ball decently running, so to speak. I don't think the quarterback is really something to worry about. If he throws the ball, it's going to be deep. But if you can force the running back to fumble the ball, we could have a fun day here. But if we turn the ball over, it's going to be a long day because they'll take advantage of that quickly because our defense will be right back on the field tired. I don't know. I'm going to say number 4 would be special teams. It's going to be hard for our offensive line to withstand the Stanford defensive line for a long drive. So if you can get an easy kick return or punt return to make the drive shorter, I say you could make it way easier on your offensive line to keep some pressure and no injuries, too. I can't think of a 5th one.
You know what they say, people. Great minds think alike. John just stole 4 out of my 5 bullet points of what's needed to win this game. So me and John are definitely on the same key. Again, but mine might be in a different order, but again, we all have the same. My first one is time of possession, a.k.a. just like John's. I believe the team that wins time of possession will win the game. Hopefully that means San Diego State is getting good carries. Hopefully Penny's getting about 5 yards per carry. 5 to 6 would make me happy. I'd like to see a bunch of 6 to 9 minute drives. Second, we are going penalties. Just as John said, penalties are big. You're not going to beat Stanford if you commit 12 penalties for 95 plus yards. Nope. I want to see the Aztecs commit less than 50 yards of penalties. I think that will help them win. Number 3, I already forgot what John said, but I am going with turnovers. I think that is your number 3. So turnovers, whoever wins this battle will win the game. You know, San Diego State has not lost a game this year when winning the turnover battle. I believe it was, 3-1 or 3-2 against UC Davis. It was 1-0, I believe, against Arizona State. You just can't lose a turnover game. Whoever wins the turnover game will win this, because that in return will help adding to time of possession. It'll make your drives longer, give you more time on the clock. The 4th one, as John said, special teams. Special teams will help win this game. I believe it will come down to John Barron, San Diego State's kicker, or Stanford's punter. You need to start off drives, as John said, though, with good field position. It will help make our players less tired instead of having to make the defense go really long drives. But I really do think John Barron might be the catalyst of this game. Okay, he's got to make all of his field goals. I technically believe that this game could possibly come down to a 50-plus yard John Barron field goal to win it. If it does, I feel like that could happen. I feel like he could make it. I would like to see John All.
Did you see that against Arizona State?
Yeah, but that didn't happen, so I'm happy. Arizona State was a lot worse than I actually thought they were. As you saw from the Arizona State game, as we talked about earlier, special teams was huge. Arizona's punter screwed the pooch on 3 punts, giving San Diego State great field possession twice inside of Arizona State's 40-yard line. We can't have that happen. If that happens, San Diego State's egg is cooked. My 5th bullet point in key to victory is 1 large passing touchdown, please. Either to Macklin, Wilson, Holder, I don't care who it is, I want to see a big play. I believe that 1 or 2 big plays will break this game open. Either for Stanford or by San Diego State. Whoever has at least 2 big plays will win this game.
I don't know about that. The 2 big plays might be nice, but you have to have a consistent passing game so that you keep the linebackers honest. If you're not threatening in the passing game, then they'll know, hey, we can just send the blitz, and they're going to screw up passing all on their own.
See, but that's where.
But if you have a decent passing game that's consistent, so even if you're getting like only 8 yards, that's a big play for this type of a game.
Oh,
Because then the linebackers can stay off into some zone, into man, and that makes the running lanes even bigger.
big play. I'm talking like 50-plus yard passes. Like Rashad
8
Penny's
yards is a big
killing
play
it.
in a game like this where everybody runs the ball.
Or I'm thinking Rashad Penny starts killing it. He's like getting 10 yards of carry. Stanford's like, oh shit, we got to stop him. And they load the box. Christian Chapman rolls out, play fakes, deep bomb to Wilson, and Wilson scores. Like something like that, in that type of scenario, would help San Diego State get a victory over Stanford. Especially if a ton of the fans that are coming to this game are Aztecs, could definitely help them out.
I have a hard time believing that, though, man, because
Well, they haven't shown they can do it.
is good. They know Penny is good, so they're going to be sending everybody already because they know we can't pass. So if you can prove you can pass, then that's when you can maybe get those big plays. But you got to get 8 yards, 5 yards, maybe 10 yards, and you got to make the linebackers back off the line. That way Penny can do what you're saying and dominate the game. Because after that, there's no telling what San Diego State's going to attack you with. Stanford's defense will be confused, and that's when you get that big play, because then that's when you catch those one-on-one coverages because they're sitting the blitz. That's what you need.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Me and John definitely have a difference of opinions on my 5th bullet point, but besides that, we're pretty much a lock on what we believe are the keys to victory. So, John, the pros are saying Stanford by 8 points. What do you
do?
Oh, we're okay. We're gonna play the. What do you think it is, Gabe? I think that the Aztecs will cover, but who wins? It's a very good question. One that I don't really want to answer. John's sitting there laughing at me. I see how it is, John. John's like, David, I asked you a question. You're supposed to answer it, goddammit. But no.
Yeah. Answer the question.
I'm in that line of thought. I don't think that this game is going to be very high scoring. I think it's going to be low. I believe whichever team wins will score in the high 20s, and whichever team loses scores in the low 20s.
So, are you saying Stanford 28-24?
I'm sitting here on my iPad looking at the San Diego State score over Wyoming last year that sent the Aztecs
24?
to Vegas. 27-24. That is definitely a possibility as I sit here while Googling the Vegas odds, trying to come up with a reasonable point spread. I know John's just loving it right now, and I'm doing this just to tick him off, you know. We like to push each other's buttons, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen it, especially that one time when John tried to kill me on the Jumbotron, which was actually pretty funny during one of the Mountain West Conference Championship football games against Air Force. But I have finally arrived to my decision. The line has opened at 10. It's now down to +8. I think the Aztecs cover. My prediction would be
Dude, Taylor Jenner's going to be back to a man by the time you're done.
San Diego State 21, Stanford 28.
I do have this as a close game. I think Stanford wins 35-17.
Oh, wow. Both Aztec domination experts are picking Stanford to win this game?
Yes, I don't think our passing game is going to be able to do much, and they're going to swarm Penny, and I think that costs us big time. I think the defense is going to play good to start, but eventually the offensive poor performance is going to cost us, and Stanford will take advantage, and that's when they start to pull away.
Okay. Now, I'm going to let you make a secondary score prediction. I'm looking here. This is OddsShark that I'm on, okay? The Vegas website. Last time they picked SDSU to win over Arizona State by 20. It's like 42-20. They are picking San Diego State to win 35-31 over Stanford.
Wow. The only way we win this game is if we have Macklin.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree.
If we have Macklin and Wilson, we have a chance to win. But if it's Holder and Truxton, we have no chance.
Should definitely be an interesting game. So, let me just read you some stats, okay? These are averages.
Okay.
Average total score, 34 points a game for San Diego State.
And we allow 18 points a game. Stanford has 43 points a game. They allow 24 points a game.
Average passing per game for Stanford, 270. Average for San Diego State, 155. Average rushing per game, San Diego State, 277. Stanford, 228. Average time of possession, San Diego State, 34 minutes. Stanford, 29. Number of plays, San Diego State, 68. Stanford, 63. But the big one is yards per play. Stanford had almost 8, 7.86. San Diego State was 6.36. So that one...
Well, here's the thing, though. You're comparing season averages, and it's only 2 games into the season. I don't think those averages matter at all, because Stanford played Rice and won 62-7. Rice is garbage. They had a bunch of big plays that were like 40 yards and stuff like that, because Rice is garbage. And we played UC Davis and ran the most bland playbook ever, which means we don't really get much out of it. So, I mean, I don't think the average comes into play in this game. I don't think averages are going to really come into play until we've played at least 3 or 4 decent teams.
Okay, I see you. I'm not going to do a quick...
I mean, Stanford had 62 points against Rice and then 24 against USC, and that averages out to 43. So when they played a good team, they only got 24, and they played a crappy team, they got 62. You know, we're somewhere in between that, which means they should score around 43 on us, theoretically.
So, John, what John said, should be a good game. Stanford has one injury. One of their cornerbacks was downgraded and will miss this game. No clue if he's a starter. Didn't really do enough research to see. Should definitely be a good game. I'm apologizing now to all Aztec fans. I hope we do win, but I just don't see it with how the Aztecs played against Arizona State. This will not be a game like SDSU and Cal last year. SDSU will have to play their best game of football that they play all season to beat this team. And I believe if they play like they did against Houston, they can win. So, we'll see what happens. It should be interesting.
Yeah, that team they have played in 10 years, man. It's got to be something you've never seen before. Even better than they played against Houston.
And if San Diego State can cover against Stanford, I will be more than happy. I will be more than happy. And that brings me to my final thought for this podcast. Why the hell does Stanford have 10 San Diego players on their squad? What?
They're a bigger school. Stanford came down here and recruited, and if you had to choose between San Diego State and Stanford, you'd probably choose Stanford because you'll get to the NFL better.
Come on, San Diego football players. Stay local. Stay with your Aztecs. You know, David Shaw will be recruiting Friday night here in San Diego, so he very might well be at the Lincoln game because his dad coached for Lincoln, and David Shaw is from San Diego, so should be interesting. I believe David Shaw's dad played with Rocky Long when Rocky was in New Mexico. I think that's David Shaw's dad. So, should definitely be interesting. He has some connections on here. Should be a great game. We'll be there. John, do you have any final thoughts for this week's podcast? Or shall we get out of here?
San Diego State football team, prove me wrong and chop those trees. We got to chop those trees. Prove me wrong. I said you're losing 35-17. Prove me wrong.
And there it is. That's the end of this week's Aztec Domination podcast. I am happy that you all decided to join us. If you watched it live, thank you for watching live. If you are watching this on Friday or Saturday morning before the game, thank you again for watching. We will be back every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, so make sure you guys join us then. That is our time slot. It's worked out pretty well for us. If you guys have questions for us during the week, make sure you send them to us. We will always respond or answer your questions. Again, this is live, so if you have questions you want to ask us live in show, make sure you tune in 9 p.m. Thursday nights to catch the Aztec Domination Live podcast. And we will be on all Thursday night throughout the entire season. Getting in the basketball season, we might change up our nights depending on everyone's work schedules. But thanks, John, for joining us tonight.
Chop those trees. Chop the trees.
And we hope you all have a good rest of your evening or day whenever it is that you watch this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Saturday. Remember, black out and go Aztecs.
Chop the trees.